Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As you can see by the title of today's video, we're here to talk about the Pro-Am meta for NBA 2K23, what I'm expecting is going to be the style, what your builds are going to be looking like based on your position, and just to give you some expectations for what to expect, or to talk about the options that are going to be at hand. Because truthfully, I do believe there are going to be multiple different ways of playing. It's not going to be the typical, like how last year it was just if you didn't have a 7'3", you're dumb. You're done and you're just stupid. It's not the case. I don't think that's going to be the deal this year. I think truly the big man position is going to be diversified. The point guard position can be diversified too. There are still very acceptable ways that you can make an outside point guard and maybe go with the smaller 6'3", 6'4" range, stuff like that. But also that I think 5 out could be okay. Now, I'm not going to say that I know for a fact that 5 out is going to be really, really good or really, really bad. I'm not sure yet, because honestly it depends on a lot of different things. Your point guard is going to have to be a truly good like slasher, yet still able to score from the 3. And the reason that I doubt 5 out quite a bit is because it's very hard to make a build that's so versatile. As you can see, like if you want good enough dunk, or maybe you can rely on your layup. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I don't think you can just rely on layup if you're talking 5 out offense, because these locks are gonna be good. These locks are going to be real good, and they're going to force you off that three-point line hard. And if you don't have dunk, if you don't have quick drops to deal with that, and you only are just going with the driving layup, I promise y'all, like chase downs, rotations off the corner, you're going to get your stuff smacked if you don't have dunk. So personally, if I had to give an expectation or a kind of projection for what this is going to look like, I don't think 5 out is going to be that great, because really, like, you're definitely going to struggle. You're going to struggle to get yourself open. The momentum as well, or like the adrenaline bars, I should say, you're going to run out of stamina. Maybe the spacing itself can be really good. You can get some pick and roll slips off the wing. You can get some pick and pops and stuff like that included. But at that point, are you really running 5 out? I mean, you're not running ISO in Pro-Am if you're doing that. So really, I just feel like true 5 out, like ISO is not happening this year. Now, as far as the point guard position goes, like I said, I think 6'3", 6'4" is pretty good. That you get the small guard sigs and stuff like that. You'll be able to get plenty good as far as the three-pointers go. We already talked about this on the 3v3 meta video, where I was talking about how I think personally point guards are going to have to settle for 92 three-pointer. It'll get you gold agent 3, it'll get you gold blinders, gold limitless range right on that cutoff right there, and then gold deadeye. You're not going to get Hall of Fame. I'm going to be real with y'all. If you're at the point guard position, you're not getting Hall of Fame shooting badges, like unless they're in the tier 1s and tier 2s. You're not getting these right here though. There's no way. If you go 99 three-pointer, like what's shown in this little test build right here, and just mind you, this is the badge requirements VOD. It's me showing all the badge requirements in the game. This is not the build I'm talking about making. It's not going to be 84 dunk, 99 three-pointer, and max ball handle, and have freaking 43 stamina at point guard. I mean, you really have to be kind of dumb. I'm not going to lie. You have to be kind of dumb to think I'm actually showcasing this build as a Pro-Am point guard, or like really just even a point guard that you're going to play on. I mean, come on. Like, think a little bit. But anyway, back to the topic. Like I said, I think 92 three-pointers is going to be what people shoot for. It's going to give you all the badge caps for the gold levels that you really need, like Deadeye, Limitless, Blinders, Agent 3. You're not going to be able to run all of them, though, unless you're maybe budgeting perfectly. I'm not exactly sure. But either way, same with that. Like Green Machine, you get it at 91. For the guard up right here, you get it at 90. So 92 is very good as far as the three-pointer goes. So whatever can get that for you, honestly. You could go with a taller build. Maybe it has a better wingspan. Maybe it has better defense. You're going to be less of a liability defensively in the corner, because I'm expecting people will put their point guards in the corner. Like, I don't think these builds are going to be versatile enough to be able to have defense at anything. Like, for a Pro-Am point guard, these dudes are definitely going to come out here with minimum defense builds. So there's no way these dudes guard the wing unless they have elite speed, but in which case I think you have to be low on speed too. Like this speed. I know some dudes at the event, like they were current gen heads, so they didn't understand like there is a rating for speed with ball and that you can take your speed down as a point guard and it won't affect how fast you move with the ball in your hand. So acceleration you need though, 100%. I mean, as a point guard, like I said, you are the offense. It's going to all run through you. If you demand double teams, your big man gets open off slips. When your big man gets open off slips, the corner drops down, so then you can dot the corner, whatever the case may be. You can make your reads and stuff like that. But it all starts with you. It all starts with you demanding attention and more than one defender, or just scoring if they are only going to put one defender on you. So again, I think that's really important. I think 6'3" to 6'4" is definitely the meta point guard range. That's my expectation. Let's talk about shooting guards. I don't know if I have great shooting guard footage, but like, let's just talk the badge caps and stuff. I know a lot of people have been saying pure sharps are back. Like, oh yeah, you can be good with that. what I will say, and this is the chain reaction to it, it's funny too, because if you do make a pure sharp, then your defense is trash too. I promise you, your defense is going to be so bad. Or like there's this thing, right? So if you pick the pure sharp with 99 3-pointer, you are either going to be one of two things: very, very bad as a secondary ball handler, and you're not gonna be able to touch that ball and do anything with it. And maybe you have like decent defense if that's the case. You're gonna have no finishing though, for sure. If you make a pure sharp, you're gonna have no finishing, like 100%. So people have been talking about like pure sharps are back in Pro-Am, like pure sharps are back in Park, stuff like that. I disagree personally. I think once again, 92 3-pointer will be what you have at that shooting guard position. It's really as simple as that. I think 92 3 is a very good threshold, and I think that's what people are going to do really at that shooting guard position. Now, as far as its height goes, I think personally you should definitely make it quite a bit taller. Like, tall guards are still very usable in this game, so if you want to play as a secondary ball handler, 6'7" can definitely get the job done. I think you'll be perfectly fine with that. I think a 6'7" kind of secondary ball handler, aka like the shooting guard, like I said, even for his defensive role, is going to be perfectly fine. Now, that's the key though. You want to make it kind of like a two-way sharp. So I believe that you're really going to want to have like gold defensive badges, so to say, so you're not a complete liability on defense, and you can play that wing. And then obviously that's when we get to the lockdown position. So we'll go ahead and just maybe showcase some builder stuff for that. All right, so as for the locks, we've already talked about this a whole lot on the channel in the last couple of days, and even in the last video of the 3v3 meta. So what I want to say is, I believe 6'5" are really good for fighting through screens. I think 6'6" will still be good for that too. And honestly, it all comes down to how hard are these guards to guard. If they're extremely easy to guard, the taller lockdowns will be good, because then you're not really demanding the speed and perimeter defense at elite levels like you would with a 6'5". And personally, as you can see, like their speed is still very good for a very tall height. Like, I mean, these 6'7" still have 87 speed. That's really good, really ridiculous. We haven't even seen what these metric builds look like either. So for that matter, you might even be able to do like a 6'7" metric and still have 87 speed. Or like, you guys get what I'm saying, like a 6'8" metric and have 87 speed. We don't know that for a fact yet. I don't know. We'll have to see when the game comes out. Actually, funny enough, I'm probably posting these on the day that the game is fully released. So maybe this is going to come back to bite me, but we'll see. I'll definitely be uploading metric videos and stuff like that, and just give my impressions on how it looks, if it is manipulatable. So maybe don't make your build day one, unless you have maybe seen other people's videos too. But anyway, personally, like I said, taller locks, they could be good. It's all going to come down to, are the guards super hard to guard? They don't look like they're going to be. So tall locks could be pretty good. I think as far as Pro-Am goes, my idea for the meta changes quite a bit based, like, instead of Park. I feel like for Park, 6'5" might be more usable and more needed because you need to cover more ground. For Pro-Am, you have a whole lot less ground to cover as a lock. And to kind of retrace my steps on what I'm saying right there, I mean that in a half-court situation where there's 5 people on the court. There's way more help defenders to help you. I don't mean it when I say like way less ground to cover as a lock on Pro-Am. I don't mean full court and just the size of the court. I mean the fact that there's 5 defenders on the court and there's so much more help that can be given to you. So I believe you can get away with things like 6'7", 6'8" type lock as far as even playing on-ball defense. So that's my impression right there. Now, the one thing I'm extremely lost on, and this is what it's going to come down to your team style, is going to be the power forward and center topics. So we'll go ahead and switch to that footage real quick. All right, so here we are, right, on the classic 7-footer footage that I've probably shown like 7 times already. But I don't want to only use this as reference for the build, because obviously it still needs some tweaks too. But I'm just leaving it on the screen while I'm talking a little bit, so just keep that in mind. As far as the power forwards to centers debate, right, it's always going to come down to, is the center in the corner playing like just corner defense and dropping for rebounds and stuff? I believe so. I believe that will be the case personally, but I do want to let you guys know, I think the hedge defender, aka your power forward, will be a lot taller than in the previous years. In previous years, dudes are rocking like the 6'9" metric and stuff like that, where they want like the elite interceptor levels. They want to just be able to double team the guards reliably. If they get forced into a switch or a rotation or something like that, they can still hang with the guard. Personally, I think you can definitely just rely on this 7-footer to play the 4. If you want to come out here with a taller center build that can still sit corner and drop for rebounds and have like Hall of Fame rebound chaser and elite interior defense and stuff like that, I think it's perfectly fine. But I'm just letting you know, I think this is a perfect power forward height right here at 7 foot for a lot of the regular normal people. And maybe you could come out here with 2 7-footers. Maybe you don't really need a 7'3". Maybe you could just like double down on the 7-footer life, and one can be a hedge guy, one can be a center sitting in the corner. And you can have an offensive center and a defensive center, so to say. So personally, that's my impression. I don't really see a world where we can have centers in the hedge defense and like playing help, so to say, right? Like guarding the pick and roller, because it seems so hard to believe that a 7-3 could like stay up there and play hedge D. So the only way that would be the case, or like the only way a center would be guarding the pick and roll D, is if the power forward was smaller than him, right, and was guarding the corner. But I don't really see the utilization in putting a 6'9" power forward in the corner anymore. Now, potentially, maybe, and this is something to keep out for, if you throw both your guards, like your point guard and your shooting guard, in the corner, and the point guard doesn't demand very much help defense at all, if you keep like a 7-footer up there, and like I said, like this is the one situation this will be the case if people do this, you could keep your 7-footer in the hedge defense, allow him to play the help D and stuff like that, play the backside, still deal with the center if he's mashing and stuff like that. Then you'd be allowed to run 2 locks on the wing, like 2 true locks. Whereas like your shooting guard might not be a great defender. They're going to run wraps on you and stuff like that to try and force him into the on-ball defense and stuff. So it's possible that that's what you run into. And if you don't want to run into it and you want to have like a true 2-peer locks on the wing and just be out on the fast break, super fast, super athletic, great dunking and stuff like that, then potentially that means that the 7-footer or your center will be guarding that backside defense. It's going to rely on your lockdowns quite a bit. If you do something like that, I think you really should invest in the fact that maybe you want a 6'5" lock and a 6'8" lock so that you could be a little bit more versatile with your on-ball defender choice, so to say. But anyway, that is my impression as far as that goes. I think it was very clean, concise, and I didn't spend a whole lot of time just on every position and stuff like that. But I think I gave my impressions pretty good. And personally, as far as this whole game's going to come together, like I said, I think like 4-out-1-in pick and roll is definitely still the move. As far as centers, I do want to mention the whole popper versus inside. I think poppers are going to be extremely hard to make. I also think they're going to be extremely hard to shoot with at that low 3-point rating. But if you do rock out with a style that I was just talking about, where maybe you have an offensive center and a defensive center, and one of them is more involved and more heavily inclined to have 3-point, then it's possible. I really do think that could be the case. I will say though, like they're both going to have 3-point if that's the case, because obviously you can't have an inside spotting up in the corner and then a popper like shooting up top. So that means you're going to have 5 shooters on the court if you do want to have a popper at the center position. And that will be a lot harder to do, in my opinion, because I don't know how, like at that point your power forward will be like no finishing, in my opinion, and obviously 0 playmaking, because he's going to be all in on just a tall dude with defense and shooting and then good physicals. So that's my impressions on that. I think truly, like, you will see maybe double center lineups and stuff like that of 2 7-footers or a 7-footer and a 7-3. I think those small hedge guys are done. I don't think you're going to be seeing 6'8" and 6'9" backside defenders anymore. It doesn't seem very worth that, especially with the way that the ball handling and dribbling is in this game. So anyway, that's all for my impressions. I mean, we'll see as far as like once I get a week or 2 into the game, as far as if all this stuff like stood the stand of time. But anyway, that's all for the video. Hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, for drop a like, sub if you're new, so notice all that good stuff. Like I said in the intro, try to just 1 to 2 or 3,000 likes in the first 24 hours. And if you made it to the end of the video, put Pro-Am in the comments. Show support you made all the way through. Other than that, I hope y'all enjoyed. That is it for our early like access embargo stuff, and we're straight into the game now. So I hope y'all enjoyed. And other than that, take it easy, man. Peace.